They handcuffed a Black SEAL sniper in court. Then a four-star general entered and everyone, beginning. The courtroom smelled faintly of varnished wood and fear. Cameras perched like mechanical vultures above the benches, broadcasting the military tribunal to every corner of the world. The defendant, Lieutenant Commander Marcus Hale, sat in the cold steel chair, wrists chained in front of him like he was no soldier but criminal. He was tall, broad-shouldered, his skin as dark as midnight oil, and his eyes, sharp, piercing, calculating, surveyed the chamber without emotion. Marcus Hale was a decorated Navy SEAL sniper, with more confirmed kills in off-world combat than any other living soldier. His missions had stretched from the methane jungles of Titan to the burned husks of Martian colonies, where insurgents had hidden among civilians. His rifle had spoken for Earth's United Defense Forces for 2 decades, and now he was on trial. The charges were read aloud by a judge in crisp silver robes: unlawful termination of command orders, unauthorized engagement of targets, conduct unbecoming an officer, treason. The last word hung in the air like a guillotine blade. Marcus's lawyer, a nervous young lieutenant still learning how to keep his tie straight, rose to speak, but his voice shook. Your Honors, the defense maintains that Commander Hale acted with integrity, that is, actions. Integrity? The prosecutor snapped, cutting him off. She was Colonel D'Amico, razor-eyed and ambitious, her career sharpened on the bones of lesser men. Commander Hale disobeyed a direct order to withdraw from Operation Emberfall. Instead, he fired upon command drones and refused extraction. He killed without clearance. That is treason against Earth Command. The gallery shifted uneasily. Everyone knew Emberfall. It was the bloodiest covert mission in decades. No details had ever been made public, until now. Hale sat still, silent, his chains clinking softly each time he shifted. The media loved that image. The black sniper who had once been Earth's deadliest weapon, now shackled like a prisoner of war. Middle. The trial unfolded with mechanical cruelty. Witness after witness testified. Drone footage was shown. Marcus crouched on a ridge of burning sand, his rifle slung across his back, his comm system blinking red. Overhead, orbital command drones issued the order to withdraw. Instead, Marcus sighted his weapon, not at the insurgents, but at the drones themselves. Shots rang out. The drones fell, one after another, sparks scattering across the sky. Why had he done it? The prosecution argued he'd gone rogue, his years of killing finally snapping something inside. They whispered words like unstable, dangerous, broken. Marcus listened without flinching. When finally asked to speak, his deep voice carried like thunder. I followed my oath, he said. Not my orders. The judge leaned forward. Explain. Marcus drew a breath. Emberfall was not a combat mission. It was a purge. Command ordered us to extract, leaving behind civilians on Ember Station, thousands of colonists, because intel said insurgents were hiding among them. Command intended to sterilize the settlement from orbit. Men, women, children. All of them. I refused to let that happen. I took out the drones that would mark the strike zone. A ripple moved through Courtroom. Reporters scribbled furiously. Civilians shifted in their seats. The prosecutor leapt on it. So you admit it. You disobeyed a lawful order from Earth Command? I admit I saved human lives, Marcus said coldly. The people in that colony weren't insurgents. They were farmers. Families. Command lied. The judge silenced the room with a gavel strike. But the words were out. A whisper of doubt crept into the tribunal. And then, on the 3rd day of trial, something happened that would burn itself into history. Marcus had just been declared a danger to the integrity of the chain of command when the double doors at the back of the courtroom opened. Boots clanged against the marble. A figure entered, tall, iron-backed, his chest heavy with medals. His shoulders carried 4 gleaming stars, the rank of full general. General Adrian Steele. The room froze. Steele wasn't just any general. He was the supreme commander of Earth defense, the architect of the Outer Colonies campaign, a man whose orders shaped wars. Cameras pivoted like prey turning toward a predator. The judge started to speak, but Steele raised a hand. Sit, he said, his voice a battlefield order. Even the air obeyed. He walked down the aisle with slow, deliberate steps, his cape brushing the ground, his silver hair catching the light. Every officer in the room rose instinctively to salute. Every officer except Marcus Hale, who remained chained to his chair, eyes locked on the man approaching. General Steele reached the defense table and turned to face the court. This trial is over, he said. Gasps echoed. The judge stiffened. General, with respect, this tribunal is a theater. Steele snapped. Commander Hale does not belong in chains. The cameras caught it. The 4-star general defending the handcuffed sniper. The general's revelation. Steele stood before the judge's bench, his presence radiating like a storm. The truth about Emberfall has been buried under classified lies. But I will not let a soldier who served with honor be destroyed for doing what command was too cowardly to admit. He pulled a small data crystal from his uniform and set it on the evidence table. The projection lit the air, classified logs, sealed by Earth Command's highest clearance. The footage showed Ember Station from orbit. Command chatter filled the room. Colony confirmed compromised, preparing sterilization strike. But sir, there are thousands of civilians still inside. Collateral damage accepted. Initiate. The logs continued, showing Marcus's sniper cam. The drones descending to mark the strike. His rifle rising, firing. One drone down. Another. A third. Command screaming in his ear. Marcus shouting back. There are children down there. You'll kill them all. The footage ended with the strike aborted. The silence afterward was louder than gunfire. General Steele faced the judges. Commander Hale prevented Earth Command from committing mass murder. He did not commit treason. He upheld the highest oath any soldier swears, to protect humanity. Colonel D'Amico sputtered. General, this data is classified. You have no authority. I have every authority. Steele cut her off. His voice carried the weight of entire fleets. I ordered the sterilization strike. I bear that stain. But I also bear the duty to tell the truth. And the truth is this man saved us from becoming executioners. He turned toward Marcus. For the first time, something softened in his granite face. You did what I should have done, son. The turning point. The courtroom erupted. Reporters shouting questions. Officers shouting objections. But the tide had turned. The judges huddled in whispers. The prosecutor pale with fury. Marcus stared at the general. Suspicion in his eyes. Why now? Why protect me? Steele met his gaze. Because war makes monsters of us. You reminded me we don't have to be. The judges returned minutes later. The gavel struck 3 times. Case dismissed. Charges dropped. Commander Hale is absolved of all wrongdoing. The chains were unfastened from his wrists. For the first time, Marcus stood tall, free. The gallery surged with noise, some clapping, some shouting, some recording a moment that would be replayed for decades. But even as freedom washed over him, Marcus knew something darker had only just begun, ending. That night, General Steele found him outside the tribunal, staring at the horizon where Earth's defense ships cut silver arcs across the sky. You'll be hunted for this, Marcus said quietly. Command won't forgive you for releasing those logs. Steele nodded. I know, but some truths are worth the cost. The colonies already know Emberfall was nearly their grave. They'll rise against us if we keep lying. We need men like you, not to follow orders blindly, but to guide what comes next. Marcus studied him. You're talking about rebellion. I'm talking about survival, Steele said. His eyes, weathered by too many wars, glinted like steel under firelight. The chain of command is rotten. If Earth keeps treating colonies like expendable assets, we'll lose them. We need leaders who remember what we're fighting for. I may not be that man anymore, but you. He placed a hand on Marcus's shoulder. You still are. Marcus said nothing, but the silence between them was heavy with unspoken choice. He had always been a weapon. Perhaps now he was being asked to be something more. The headlines the next day spread like wildfire. Black SEAL sniper cleared. For Star General exposes Emberfall cover-up. General Steele defies command, calls sniper a hero. Across the colonies, riots broke into celebrations. Across Earth, command offices seethed with rage. And in the shadows of power, new plans were already being drawn. Plans that would decide the fate of humanity among the stars. Marcus Hale watched it all unfold. His freedom now a burden heavier than chains. He knew the war wasn't over. The real war, the one between truth and obedience, justice and authority, was only beginning. And when the next shot had to be fired, he knew the world would look to him.